Hello, hello, hello. Welcome now, Stock Trades. What's going on, my silly mother? All right. So I hope everybody's doing great. I wanted to go ahead and kind of talk to you about essentially what's going on with the economy. The Federal Reserve just came in and they went ahead and raked 75 basis points, and we're going to go over that. We're going to also go over the projections, kind of what's going on in the market, things that you need to be aware of. And whoa, this is criminal. Tell me more. I want to know because you know this is not the first time I've heard this comment today, and I will explain my reasoning. Okay, so we're gonna go over that, and also we just brought in 10 to 15 commands and added on to the thousands of commands we already have that I really want to share with you within Brain Machine that essentially uses AI to basically sort through the news to determine whether it's bullish or bearish, and also to go through stock twits, analyze which stock sentiment scores are good, and it basically tracks along with you know the equation works, and it's going to help you make money in the market. Then there's one called merger acquisitions, but I'm working on relaying that out real soon, and then Senate trading, all this stuff we're going to show later, not in this video, but it's going to be really, really good. Okay, so is there anything else? Yeah, that's about it. Okay, so first, well, actually, I saw Tyro with the criminal, but I think I get him late, so maybe you were first. Hey man, I love you guys too, and I always forget to tell you, please subscribe, hit the like button. It's a YouTuber thing, and the reason why they say it is because not only does your channel grow, it helps the video get out to more people. And we talk about truth here. Okay. All right. Good, good, good. Got any good stocks? Yeah. So we're going to be doing that on our first bi-monthly meeting, or the start of it. It's going to be kind of but someone said, plug and another stock. Well, on Saturday. By the way, our first meeting for all of our All Stock Alerts members and mastering, first meeting, 1 p.m. Central Time this Saturday. Okay, let's talk about stocks. All right, so the Federal Reserve, they went ahead and hiked 0.75% for the third time in a row. So with this move, the federal funds policy rate will be in the new range between 3% and 3.25%. Now, I use personally the federal funds rate to subtract it off from the 10-year to determine essentially where the economy is going to go, because it shows you an inverted yield curve. The policy rate is expected to rise 4.4% by the end of the year, and before peaking to 4.6% next year. That's what Wall Street is expecting. So essentially, if we go ahead and let's take the two extremes, 4.6 minus 3.25, we're expecting, we have 1.35 more percent to go. So divide that by 0.75. We can either do, two more 75 basis point rate hikes, maybe one more, and then a 50, then a 50, then a 25, right? You get the idea. And then let me see here. Sorry about that, my dog. I didn't want to disturb you guys. She's a talker. Okay. So good. So that we talked about that. Now, in terms of projections, the financial markets is expecting the Federal Reserve to essentially pull back. They are expecting unemployment rates to climb from 3.7% to 4.4% by next year. You guys are going to start seeing that there's going to be a lot of layoffs that are going to be happening. And actually, one of our members said, how do I average down if we enter a recession if I'm going to be laid off? And that's a really good question. It was when I was in California. The answer is really there isn't one answer. But what I would do if I was in this position is I would prep for the worst. I would assume I'm about to be laid off within the next couple of months. Okay. I would decrease my operational expenses, essentially anything that does not help me, that is just taking my money, I would cut it off. If it's maybe 3-4 streaming services, you can do away with it for 6-7 months. You know what I mean? Stuff like that. You know what I mean? I'm not trying to make you go cheap, but be like a company. Prep for the worst. Okay. Run your life like a CEO. All right, good. So there's and there's a consensus that the US economy may slip into a recession over the next year. Okay. And also 24 months. So we're going to go over this right now. Okay. Now, JP Morgan CEO warns Congress of an economic storm of clouds. So he's back to it's a hurricane. He's back to that. Okay, that's a big deal. Okay, that's going to get attention. And it's also going to tell the government to say, hey, you better talk to your Federal Reserve buddy over there, Mr. JPAL, right? He also said cryptocurrency is a Ponzi scheme. Now, let's see. Citibank. There's a couple of banks right now that are currently under the radar of the SEC and other legal firms for unlawful behavior, as well as some activities such as manipulation of VIX that we should all be aware of. In terms of Voyager Digital, if you haven't heard of them, they recently went bankrupt. They issued more percentage of givebacks of percentage rates than what they can afford. And they thought that this economy of free cash money printing will continuously flow. And frankly, the CEO is a manager at Toys R Us back in the day, had more sophistication than this gentleman here. By the time of their bankruptcy filing, they had $5 billion in assets, which seemed like a lot, right? But they had $4.9 billion in liabilities. Their market capitalization, I believe, at its peak was $3.9 billion. However, now FTX and Binance are bidding around $50 million to acquire the assets of Voyager Digital. FTX has become famous with acquiring these assets at lower ranges. And I believe that we'll see what happens with FTX, but it's definitely seems like the strong Hulk of the group. Okay, so there's that. So we just kind of went through some important things that I was reading and some analysis of what Wall Street was thinking about. What we're going to do here is this is table 1 of the economic projections of the Federal Reserve Board meetings for the board members, okay, and the Reserve presidents, okay. So we're going to go ahead and read in terms of what are the projections, okay. Then we're going to go into looking at the June projections. We're going to compare each and every one, okay. So we'll start with real GDP. Real GDP in the June projection was 1.7. Now it fell down to 0.2. We're expecting essentially a really not so great growth within our 2022 cycle. Same thing happens from 2022 to 2023. Based on this rate, we're going to be experiencing some hefty growth, but again, not as the growth that essentially we saw here. 2024 again, still 1.7, not as much as the growth we saw for the 1.9. And then 2025, 1.8, and a longer projection, 1.8. We are starting to see a slowdown within the real GDP growth. How much of that, is on the Federal Reserve's mind? Potential invasion of Taiwan, Russia and Ukraine. In fact, Russia just escalated today. The President Vladimir Putin in his desk with his old phones. I pay attention to those things. I like technology. He was saying how he's not bluffing, and there are missiles and weaponry systems that not even NATO has, that we have. Kind of going ahead and flexing. At the same time, he called approximately 300,000 members of his reservists, and declaring that this is going to start from a small operation and scaling up for a big war. Hello. Welcome. I just saw your guys' comments. Okay. We're gonna go to Q&A at the end here. So that's a big deal, okay? And he did say that he may go nuclear, okay? I'm starting to believe that we may enter. I don't know as the United States enters, but we may go into a nuclear. Also, President Joe Biden on his 60 Minutes, the reporter was saying, if China invades Taiwan, will America go to war? And President Biden said yes. Then the reporter was shocked. The reporter said, okay, let me just be clear. Are we going to have U.S. men and women troops in Taiwan defending the land? And the president said, yes. Now, you may ask yourself, why are we defending Taiwan and not Ukraine? Well, it's because there's a lot of investments in Taiwan, semiconductors. And if China takes a hold of Taiwan, then they're going to be ahead with their technology. And the U.S. doesn't want that, and they're willing to go for it. China today did the unexpected by going ahead and saying Russia needs to de-escalate, which is important because they're starting to realize that they cannot grow without the United States. No matter how the way you dice it, the United States is still in control. And if they don't want you participating in the global arena of making money, they're going to hinder you. Okay? So I know that was long there, an explanation. But I just wanted to tell you I always trying to get into the heads of Federal Chairman Jerome Powell and all of the reservists. What are their worries? Okay, so this is what it seems like. There'll be a slowdown. Remember, I told you what stops inflation? War. Okay, and also taxes and all this other stuff. But war is a great way to spike it up and peace and prosperity and investing. Okay. Unemployment rate, we're at 3.8, 4.4, 4.4, 4.3. Again, we're expecting it to be lower, but back in June, but the Federal Reserve jumped it up, and this is a pretty big increase. Now, unemployment rate is a lagging indicator, which is why Cathie Woods always likes to poke fun at Jerome Powell to say, hey, you're wrong there. She is right. It is a lagging indicator. So if I was you, go on the allstocktrades.com or just research the unemployment rate and go in and you can look and to see and track along with the Federal Reserve by the data. If this gets too hot and it gets past that 4.4% 4.4, that is going to tell the Federal Reserve to calm their crap and to start initiating a Federal Reserve Fed pivot. Again, PCE, inflation, higher than expected. And we're going to just see if these numbers track along with the Federal Reserve. In terms of nobody, no. There's my outlets there, and he tends to unplug it, and I'll lose you guys. Okay, let me think. Federal Reserve funds rate. Okay, this is important. 4.4, 4.6, 3.9. But you see how it's going up to 2023. Remember how I told you about the federal funds rate, how we're expecting it to go to 4.6? That's where I got the number from. And that's where a lot of Wall Street analysts, hedge funds are getting the number from. I'm trying to provide you guys data of what the big boys are looking at, okay? Because I want you to be an intelligent investor, okay? We are starting to see a slowdown within here 2024. Now, this is good. If the federal funds rate goes down, which pretty much means the Federal Reserve is doing quantitative easing. And in 2025, they drop by a whole point. That to me signifies recession. So it could be that 2024 may be the recession that we've been waiting for. And it seems to me that they're going to pass this recession on to the Republican Party because they expect a red wave to come in 2024. So they're going to give them a recession. In 2025, most likely by 2026, we're going to experience a beautiful a bull market, okay? But it seems to me the recession may hit in 2024 within the next 24 months. There's a high likelihood of a recession. Okay. Now, let me explain to you a couple of things. Well, my future father-in-law, he started from the bottom in this country. He used to own a car wash, and then he went ahead and pretty much. So he worked at the car wash, and he owned it. Then he realized it was in the most major street in LA. And then he refinanced and did all those things and expanded. And now he owns an apartment complex business. And he buys apartment complexes around California, Arizona. So he's not at residential, he's commercial. Yeah, they've done extremely well. But today when I called him, he was very upset. He was like, because when you buy an apartment complex, you also use debt as a form of making money, so you don't pay taxes. Okay, Rich Dad Poor Dad, read that, you'll understand. Okay, but he mentioned this word called it's criminal. It's criminal, and and it's true. I mean, he said all this is. He was mad. I don't blame him. He said, "Who the hell is going to afford a 6 to 8% freaking mortgage?" And then when it comes to commercial loans, they're a bit different. There's something called a balloon payment. In the future, we'll talk about this. I'll be entering the real estate market for the commercial sector real soon. And once I have 10 years of experience, we can make a course about it and teach for people that want to get to that level, right? I'm not personally comfortable teaching if I don't have 10 years under my belt. That's just kind of like it takes like 10,000 hours and above to become a master of something. I'm not, you know what I mean? So wait for me to gain this knowledge, or start right now, and we can collaborate on YouTube and teach each other. Okay, so there is that. Now we're going to go in and we're going to go over these commands that I want to show you. Okay, so like I said, smart money is buying, confident, dumb money is selling. Okay, do the opposite of retail investors, do the opposite of dumb money. Now, for these commands, it's really freaking cool. So for all of our Stock Alerts members and mastering stock market students, all you have to do is, let me go ahead and do this in this command up here, which shouldn't be there, but this is the help menu. Okay. There's a lot you can do here. We're going to add more, but I want you to go and hit the stock. There's a little logo there. This is our own proprietary technology. I want you to hit stock statistics. Okay. I zoomed in a little heavier on here on your screen. It's going to be a little bit more zoomed out. I zoomed in because I want you guys to see this on my live. Okay. So let's make this spacious. Okay. So first things first is there are a couple of things that we can do now that are extremely useful. Okay. So I'm going to just kind of go from the top and maybe pick out a couple of things. So this is called historical social media sentiment for stocks. So get historical. So you click this, and let's say you want to look at Apple. Okay. What this does is it gives you by the hour, what is the sentiment? How many posts on StockTwits, Twitter, comments, how many likes? It gives you that analysis. And when you hit that, and when you click, you just got to click the button and it'll auto-populate. You can hit Apple, and then you can hit tab, and you can do amount. And you can do, like, let's say 50. And what that does is it's going to keep going back. Boom, boom, boom. You can do as many as you want. There's no threshold here. And you can analyze what's going on. And then we're going to be graphing this to give you a better user face experience. Okay. We're working on that. All right. But that's not the most impressive thing. There's other things that I want you guys to see here. Okay. So here's the latest news with sentimental analysis score. There's an AI, it parcellates through the news. We're going to have this on the future website way in the future, but it'll essentially search the news, and it'll basically give you, essentially the ticker symbol, if it's bullish or bearish, in terms of the sentimental score, which is good because you can really work fast on determining if the particular news is going to be for you or against you. So right now, I just put this in here. I need to go ahead, and I'm going to take a screenshot here. I just literally added these in today. I forgot there's something I need to do for this one, and I'll get that done. Let me see here. Oops. Let me go ahead and reload that. But essentially, what you can do now with this, let me go here, is now we created an equation where you guys will be able to, let me reload the page, where you guys essentially will be able to type in, and the machine will search stock twits, and it will do an analysis. And you got to do this kind of, whenever you want to day trade. And it'll basically show you the scoring system, the most bearish or the most bullish, and it'll give you a report. And you can press the amount of how much you want to look at. So it's extremely useful for your due diligence, and in my humblest opinions. It will definitely help you. So there's that. Let me go ahead and show you a couple of other things that we have here. If you go ahead and look, for example, at stock grade, you can go in and type in, let's I guess Apple. Everyone knows Apple, right? And then, interesting. Give me one moment. Let me check something here. Let's look at Clove. This is a short-term DCF. If this is not working, then okay. Interesting. So yeah, for Clove, it's showing that it's for the short term, it's going to go back up to 2.70. So obviously this is undervalued. I mean, if you want to day trade this, I mean, like it's very, very clear. 0.6 divided by 2.1. That's a 28% return. I mean, like, this is the perfect day trading market, if you ask me. The volatility on these stocks are just amazing. I mean, $1 million, if you would have doubled down on the stock price right now, is a 28% return when it goes to 2.7, most likely on the next earnings. It's going to be you're going to be handsomely rewarded. That's what, $280,000. But I got too excited. I wanted to show you these commands, but I need to go in and parcelate the bugs. There's some bugs on here. I just literally made these commands today. But let me make sure I do my research here. Okay. So let me go ahead and redo this. Okay. So here's the stock statistics. Let's go to earning surprises. Let's type in Apple. Okay. AAPL. And let's look at the amount. You press tab, you hit 10. And then you essentially go here, and what you want, you can click on here to click the original command, and it'll basically show you, does Apple surprise people? So the estimated earnings was 1.16. Here's 1.12. Back on April, estimated was 1.43. Here's 1.52. So you can essentially get a breakdown of the earning estimates, which is important for those folks that are playing earnings, okay? Or essentially just want to keep track and keep tabs on their stock. Then you can look at the annual analyst estimates. We can look at, actually, you know what? Let's look at Clove. Let's look at the quarterly. If we type in Clove and look at the amount, I don't know, let's type in 10. There. So this is really cool. So we can go up to the original command here, and you can see for Clove in 2024 of March, they're expecting a low of $792 million. We know that's false. They're making $800 million per quarter right now in revenue. So we could take the high bound of 1.1 billion. You could take that, multiply it by 4. That's about $4.7 billion they expect. Analysts expect about 9. It shows you the number of analysts on the bottom expect Clover will be making in 2024. But you can do with you can kind of like, use your brain here. And you can say, well, in 2022, they're about to make 3 billion. And you're telling me in 2024, they're going to make 4.7 billion. What happens if they make 4.7 billion in 2023? No problem. Analysts revise their estimates all the time, but it's going to cause a lot of gravitational pull towards the stock. Okay. And so we're going to have an institutional ownership button, brain machine, and also other bots that we have here that will give you understanding of what our institution is doing with Clover, and they're buying Clover. Okay. You can also look at the annual estimates instead of the quarter. I like the quarter because it breaks it down. It's really beautiful and it tells you, you know what I mean? Like analysts have just they're wrong here. They're wrong. They're expecting the revenues to go down in 2024. Because they have them well, not down, but they have them high here for 2023, right? So it shows you they're expecting them to go like this and then down, which is interesting. Maybe it's an equation that they use because they think 2024 is going to be a recession, which is what we saw from what the Feds were predicting. Maybe that's what they're doing in. But that's stupid because they're also in the healthcare field, which tends to do well during recessions. So you see how I'm telling you the stock is really mispriced? We can go in and let's see here. Yeah. I think I have a lot of work to do tonight. I'm going to have a lot of bugs to parcelate through. So we added all these commands today, and things were going so smoothly. I was like, "Oh, let's make a video." But I knew they were all working, and now I have to go look at the bugs, see if there's any decimals, and for people that program, exactly. And it's just me and a developer, and another person I'm working with, but it's just literally just really two people building this whole platform, and obviously my future wife with her moral support. So please bear with me as we build this amazing technology. Just to walk with you guys with this, in terms of the bullish. You can look at bullish tweets. I don't think Twitter is a great way. I think Twitter is manipulated, but we give it to you here. I think Twitter's like fake. There's a lot of fake accounts, but StockTwits there's actually developers that care. So I would actually, I use StockTwits analysis, and what this does is it gives you a report, and not that, it also gives you a bullish StockTwits social sentiment change. So it gives you a rate of change, whether it's bullish or bearish, and it can help you short stocks or essentially purchase them or do calls, depending on your risk tolerance. But everything was going so smoothly. Man, now I have to tonight. I'm going to be up, and I'm going to be working hard now, fixing this thing. It happens every time we update. There's always bugs that happen because we're pushing a lot of data in, but it is what it is. That's Rome wasn't built in one day, but there's a lot of new criteria now that we have with Brain Machine. It literally is going to scan StockTwits, and we created an equation where it's going to give you the social sentiment change, calculating exactly what it thinks the stock is going to do. And it's going to rank it for you and give it to you in such a beautiful list. And you can search from the highest to the lowest. So there's going to be so much. And also for Senate trading, we're going to give you disclosures, and we're going to give you the actual links to the actual Senate disclosures. It's called Brain Machine for a reason. It is taking me time to build. I honestly did not anticipate the roadblocks that I would go through. But we have multiple discords that with our artificial intelligence technology. It's just I want to add more benefit to you guys because I really want you to have a Bloomberg terminal. That's literally what we're trying to build here. We're trying to build a Bloomberg terminal for you guys to where you can type in anything you want and you will get that information. No BS, right? Like there's not going to be BS news and whatever. You guys will have raw data, and the machine and the calculations will make use of that data and give it to you in a very successful way. Anywho, that's what I wanted to show you. But I was so excited I wanted to show you, but unfortunately, I have to go back in my my cave and go back and clean it up and fix it. But it's part of the process. All right, let's go in and let's go ahead holding AMC strong. I'm just reading through your comments. I have like 3 screens, one here. Oh yeah. Clove's amazing, man. I mean, you see the analysts. They unfortunately they're mispricing the stock. Let's see. Yes, there it is, right there. Putin said that Russia has more modern nukes than the U.S. when referring to mutually assured destruction, and said all options are on the table to defend Russia, including Crimea. He's trying to annex a couple of areas in Ukraine. So say, hey, we're trying to defend our land once they vote, the problem with the West, my people, is that we say, oh, you're bluffing. But remember, we dropped a nuke in Japan. I mean, this can happen. Okay. And we're like, and then when he does, let's say, God forbid, drops a nuke, we're going to say, hold on. We're going to go in and once he does drop it, a lot of people are going to essentially be like, oh my God, how could he do such a thing? He's been warning people. And what has the U.S. been doing? Sending money to Ukraine, trying to weaken them. Right? Sorry, guys. I don't know if you heard that. Trying to weaken them. And it's not smart. It's not smart. And the biggest nuclear bomb that's been tested was from Russia. It was the Tsar. And the flight person that dropped it had a 50% chance of survival. And it wasn't even the full throttle of Tsar or whatever the bomb was. It was at 50 megatons when it could have been at 100 megatons. It's just they wanted the pilot to survive. Jesus Christ. From sticks and spears to this type of warfare, ladies and gentlemen, I mean, this is, as he was saying here, Bud 123, this is mutually assured destruction. We're going to kill ourselves. I mean, you know what I mean? So it's really bad. Worrying about stocks when we are on the brink of World War III. Only in America. Only in America, right? We're worried about stocks, capitalism, and we know, I understand, my friend. Yeah. Don't bet against America, right? We're always trying to make money, right? Jesus Christ. So sad. That's just his small guy ego writing checks. It's easy to say the hype his followers, but dropping nukes in his own backyard is going to hurt his people. Fallout don't just flow. No, of course, the smoke, you have to go, of course. But the thing is, do you remember when Russia came to put nukes in Cuba? And then the U.S. was like, no, we're about to go to war for this because it was in our backyard. If you take that argument, I see Putin's point. Like, he wants his backyard to be clean and not NATO to advance, which unfortunately they did not follow their words. Yeah, and I hope they don't, man. I hope he's just bluffing. Also, one of his leaders died. I mean, there's been a lot of leaders in Russia dying. Dying, I think. But what do I know? I mean, I just know what you guys know. It's really weird. You know what I mean? Yeah. Started position in FLNG. Good. I like energy transfer. The way I look at it, next to Russia, the U.S. is the largest producer. I'm predicting the more natural gas should be shipping abroad. Absolutely. Republicans are going to come in, I think, and they're going to just be natural gas every day. Energy transfer is going to go up like crazy. There's graphs that support that data. like by 2030, 2035, natural gas prices are going to go up. And it kind of makes sense because if you look at it, Warren Buffett, Berkshire Hathaway, he's been purchasing a lot of stock like Oxy, and he has multiple exposures in the petroleum energy sector. Okay. So yeah, I agree. Again, housekeeping. Saturday, we're going to go ahead and have our first meeting, kind of like a pre meeting, so October can run smoothly. We already had one individual say, hey, can you look at this stock? We are going to look at it, analyze it, see what's going on with it. And yeah, Brain Machine, I wanted to show you our cool equation. Again, the equation is huge. I know that can be misinterpreted, but the equation is so huge that I think I need to parcelate an extra space for it within the Brain Machine, because it goes in and it searches in real time stock twits, and it gives you accurate data real time. Okay. But that needs to, so I have a lot of work to do. And if we do get nuked, I'll just, be on my computer and we'll talk about stocks. I'm just kidding. If that happens, then, the stock market, I don't know. It's, it survived once, right? But I hope we never go through that. And it's sad because we're entering a new era of Cold War, and, I can already see the gaming developers and Call of Duty recreating this war. So, you know what I mean? So we'll be, I guess, playing this in the next 5-10 years. Okay. I can already see the capitalistic Americans, right? YOLO nuke puts, right? There's these new things called nuke puts, right? Yeah, I give up, dude. I honestly give up on humans, man. I give up, dude. Like, what the F? You know what I mean? Sometimes I have a dog, and he's the best dog in the world. If the world had an ounce of love that this dog has, dude, we'd all be billionaires, right? If that's logically possible, right? It's not logically possible, but we'd have a better, less violent life, right? Nuke futures, right? Dude, if that happens, you're going to see the biggest drop of your life, dude. Right? Don't look at your portfolio. Okay. You're going to freak out. I don't care how intrinsically valued the stock is. Everything's going to go down. Right? Especially now too, because retail investors would be like, I'm out. I'm pulling my money. I don't want to scare you guys. But if we do get in a world of chaos, the only thing that would be worth more than gold would be ammo, would be guns. So if you want, you can trade ammo. I don't know if there's a stock for that. I don't think the stock market would work during those times. But if you have guns, then you empower your own military. You would do really well. I have my own arsenal, but more for going to the range, not really for that reason. And I hope we never get to that reason. I hope I can just stick to my computer and make, give a financial literacy and make people money on our community here, and do my medicine, and I'll be happy with that. I don't want to do any of that, right? That'd be terrible. But I love you guys. I think about you all the time. I worked so hard today building this. I mean, you saw me guys on the Al stock alerts and mastering. I was building this the whole freaking day, man. It was my day off. You know what I mean? I was trying to build this, and I wanted to show it to you. And now there's bugs, and I got to go ahead and clean out these bugs. But I will show you on the next video. I guess it'll something to look forward to. I always like to show you guys cool things that we could do and give you guys something that other people don't have. So I'll give you guys an edge. But I love you guys a lot. And uranium is more important. Exactly. And uranium has actually been going up. Uranium prices on companies that I mine for it, I really don't know. But those prices have been going up. Yeah. I love you guys. Oh, my God. I'm going to go eat some food, go to the gym, and I'm going to study some neurology tonight. And the last time I left off, I was looking at the penumbra, which is a space that you could revive if you initiate pharmacological therapy if someone undergoes a stroke. So I'm going to carry on that, and I'm going to review neurology because I'm starting my neurology rotations next week, and I cannot wait. Right, all right, love you guys. Peace and love. Putin, if you're listening, stop it, right, right, and U.S. if you're listening, and stop supporting Ukraine and just stop war. Like stop. I'm not trying to say stop supporting Ukraine, but like if you get involved too much, you're just not pulling the trigger. We're gonna get one pointed right at us. Okay, and if you live near a military base, just understand that another country has a nuclear weapon pointed at you. Okay, just that, and that's not my words. That's one of the defense's words. I live next to Davis Mountain, and it's a military base. And there's Raytheon right next door to us that makes the missiles and all that good stuff. We would be wiped out just like that. Okay, and that's what they do. They have strategic areas where they attack, and that's war, right? And I hope that we never get to that level because it's mutually assured destruction. But I know that the U.S. has been a little aggressive in helping Ukraine, calling for assassination of Putin. These are words these are from politicians. These are that affect policy. These are words that we would never thought of saying back in the 60s and 70s. Do you understand what I'm saying? It's very scary. You know what I mean? So I hope we can come together. I'm with you guys. We have no control. We're just, so we can buy our little clover and hope to have a beautiful future and stock up on iodine. Comment down below why. Yeah, the average American doesn't want war. Just a few strategic. Yeah, exactly. There's a lot of crazy people that want war. We don't want war. No, right? But it sucks. And I'm in medicine, so it's effing terrible. You know what I mean? Like, it's just terrible. Radiation antidote. Well, shit. Okay. Well, all of our Al Stock Alerts members, we can huddle up together and formulate a new colony, just like what is it called? The zombie thing? I forgot that movie. Not Breaking Bad, the other one. It was so terrible. I think it wasn't. I don't think the ending was that good. Yeah, exactly. Your dollar is based on nothing. If there are nukes, U.S. dollar. Yeah, no. Beautiful, beautiful. You got invited? Good. That's great. Regina Romero is the mayor of Tucson, Arizona. She's nice. She's well, good. Well, I tell her happy birthday. All right, guys. I love you a lot. We're just, all we can do is put God first. We put God first, and you know what I mean? Walking Dead, that's what it is. Exactly. We put God first. That's all we can do. You know what I mean? And I hope that we don't get to this mutually assured destruction. I really hope we don't. But if we ever do, for me, I have no regrets. I'm helping retail investors thrive. All of my free time I'm spending helping, just giving back to the community. And you just got to do what you got to do, and whatever, right? What can you do, right? Just treat your neighbor handsomely good and peace and love, and that's it. Love each and every one of you guys. Hopefully we get out of this funk and Putin is bluffing and the U.S. takes him seriously. Also the UK, because you know how they can oh my God, those people can be annoying sometimes. They don't believe something's going to happen until something happens. They're usually late to the, and I hope that doesn't happen, because that'll mean a lot of people are going to die. Okay. All right. Love you guys. Peace out. And I'll see you in the next one.